420 MSP. Hope you're doing well out there. Harry Brailsford. We're back with Duane Roebuck from Blue Star Distributing. And Duane, I want to talk about categories in the cannabis technology area, fondly known as CannaTech. If we were talking about my traditional SMB infrastructure, I could just babble off categories, file, print, BDR, that kind of thing. There's certainly that, but there's really specific categories to the CannaTech, and that's where you live and breathe. So let me turn it over to you. Why don't you rattle off? I mean, in the past, I'll help you out. In the past, you've talked about scan, print, barcode, RFID. There's a teaser. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Hey, thanks for having me on again, Harry. So from a Blue Star perspective, we treat cannabis just like we would retail. Aside from the product itself, as well as the regulations around it, there's really not much difference. So, like when you speak to categories, we tend to look at it from a manufacturer perspective, and the manufacturers that not only embrace the industry, but want to see the industry grow. So some that quickly come to mind for me are Zebra Technologies, which is a leader, across all industries in their, barcoding, print, RFID, as well as mobile handheld computers and tablets, which, a lot of people don't think of, but particularly in this pandemic environment, we're seeing where more and more companies and, even inside the cannabis industry, they're looking for BOPIS or buy online, pick up in store type solutions. So those work really well. From a point of sale perspective, two of the ones that, immediately come to mind would be ELO and Star Micronics, both of which have embraced the industry and are looking to do as much as they can to help the industry expand. And then when you get into security, Hike Vision, they're one that comes to mind because within this industry, everything is on cameras, but you think beyond that for those guys for access control and things like that, facial recognition.
And that was called night vision, like the night is dark, or height vision?
Hike, Hik.
Oh, thank you.
Vision.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so, and then, from a digital signage perspective, because a lot, especially in the dispensary, a lot of them are using, digital signage displays to not only educate the end consumers, but to show, like any specials they may be running, as well as the strains and the cost and things like that. So LG has been LG Business has been a tremendous partner in that aspect.
Yeah.
And so, I would also, lend towards, in this industry, cellular failover. That's something that often doesn't get discussed, but is, definitely, critical because most of the dispensaries, are located in industrial spaces. And so if there's an outage or something like that, you still want to be able to transact your business. So those are the ones that would, immediately, come to mind.
Yeah, and that's that's a head full. So we met our goal. It seems to me, next question, and then I'll let you run. I know it's a busy time and a busy industry. Side note, we don't find ourselves in this sector of the economy talking recession, and boy howdy, that's kind of fun. But it seems to me that this list will be dynamic, right? Like I could come back to you in 6 months and have the same conversation, and you may have new players in these categories. You may have people that have exited the category. Does that make sense? Is that the world of distribution?
I don't see many exiting this category because of, the anticipation and expectation as far as, the growth of the industry and, the revenues that are associated with it.
Yeah.
We do have, there are substantially more, point of sale as well as, scanner companies in there. What I've done is named off, some of the top ones and, the ones that have really been embracive of this industry as well, and I'm not just talking about, having products for it, but also, contributing, exhibiting at shows, setting it up so that, their resellers can get out there and have a presence and a footprint within this industry. Some of these manufacturers are working with some of the software guys to really come up with some cool solutions, like you mentioned RFID before. And I'm going to give a little teaser. We're starting to see where RFID is making its way into the dispensary. Traditionally it's been on the grow side, in both hemp and cannabis, but now we're seeing where, due to the pandemic as well as operational efficiencies, some of the dispensaries are looking to do different things and looking for, contactless solutions, as well as, buy online, pick up in store, pick up at curb, delivery, those type of things. And so RFID makes it real easy from an inventory control as well as operational efficiency. So I do know, I've been working, hard with Zebra Technologies as well as, one of our software partners that we work with in the cannabis industry. So real soon you're going to start to see RFID within the dispensary itself. And it, helps from inventory control all the way through to loss prevention. So I think some of your listeners, they would be well suited to take a look at, in my opinion, anything within the traditional retail stack, especially something that is going to make it better for end customers and consumers, because where traditional retail has always wanted to utilize some of these, the cannabis industry is actually embracing it, and they realize that the better the customer experience, the longer they're going to retain that customer. And so they're really embracive of, all of the technologies from kiosks to, tablets, mobile handheld computers and the such.
Yeah, and I'll end on this. That last point you raised, I was in a meeting earlier this week, and we talked about customer loyalty, and it is a very interesting, and it was with a group of retailers. And Duane, on the one hand, if you look at it like fine wines, well, I have my favorite wine shop, right? There's a wine shop on Queen Anne Hill in Seattle, and I can go and have a conversation, and they say, well, you may want to pair it with this chocolate, right? So it's an experience. And so I get that. And I do think that truly exists in the cannabis, consumer area. However, one of the participants in the meeting talked about when, not if, but when this goes federal legal, there's going to be a certain consumer that's going to buy Bud Light at the cheapest store on the road, right? He doesn't really care.
Right.
He's just
right.
He's looking at the signage. Gas is $2.69 a gallon. Bud Light is $7.99 for a 12-pack. He's pulling in. He's buying Bud Light, and then to get into the end on a silly side, but we had the conversation. What if Costco sells liquor? What if I believe Costco sells tobacco.
Yeah. Well, I've always said I believe that once legalization or decriminalization comes to this industry, I believe it's going to emulate the beer industry, where you have your Miller Coors, Budweisers, who are the big guys, and then you're going to have a lot of craft grows and people who, if you look at the beer industry, today, a lot of the beers that I drink aren't the big, well-known brands because of the taste, and it's just something different. And so I think you're going to find that in cannabis as well. You're always going to have people who shop, based off of price, But even if you look at, like traditional retail, for example, there's a reason why some people go to Macy's. There's a reason why some people would go to Nordstrom. Both stores, carry a good variety of the two. It's just in my experience, the Nordstrom, the aesthetics and things like that are just much more better and friendly for me personally. That makes me, want to go and spend more money there. So, I think everybody's going to have an opportunity to win, but I personally believe the craft grows are going to, more than hold their own. And,
Yeah.
We're going to get some really cool products. It's just a matter of educating them and getting them the technology so that they can, operate as efficiently as a Budweiser, for example.
Yep. Well, we'll make that the final word for this month. Thank you, sir. And we'll see you next month. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Harry, and you have a great month.
All right.